everybody, welcome back to my channel. This stuff is so good, and I've gotten a lot of requests from some friends and family on how to make this. Some of you know what it is, some of you don't, but this is sea moss gel, and mine is flavored here, but today I'm going to show you how to make it because sea moss is so good for you. Sea moss gel has 92 of the 102 minerals the body is made of and contains about 9 milligrams of iron per 100 grams, which means sea moss has 9 times more iron than chicken. Sea moss is vitamin rich and contains 90% of nutrients our bodies need. Sea moss promotes natural weight loss, and it also helps your body build muscle. In addition to that, it helps build a healthy immune system. All of those benefits, why wouldn't we want this to be a part of our daily routine? Let's make some. Well, the first thing you obviously need is sea moss, right? So here's a little scientific fact. Sea moss isn't actually like moss in the traditional sense. It's seaweed. This first one, Gracilaria, grows in the warm waters of the Caribbean. And I got it from Red's Kitchen Sink. I will put the link below, but this was the supplier that I decided to go with. Whoever you find to be reliable or a supplier that you trust, get your sea moss from there. The second one that I got from Red's Kitchen Sink is Irish moss or Irish sea moss. And this one, of course, has the history of the potato famine, and as the people in Ireland suffered from that time period, they relied upon the sea to get their food source. Irish sea moss. And this one is known as Chondrus crispus. It's red in color, and it's also used traditionally to thicken ice cream. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to have is some spring water and some alkaline water, because you're going to be rinsing and soaking, and you want your water to be clean and to be beneficial. Depending upon the amount of sea moss you want to make, and it's going to be very interesting, this process, because it's going to expand. So you want to have a bowl that is directly related to the amount of expansion you expect. For me, since I'm only going to make a little bit just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use this bowl right here. Okay, so I'm going to open up my sea moss. Ooh, and you're gonna get a little smell. It's gonna smell like you've been to the beach. So here's some of it right here. I'm just gonna use about this much today because I just want. All right, so it's dry, and as you can see, it's a little. You see some crystallization because of the dehydration of the seawater, so there's like salt crystals on it. You might even, as you rinse it, you might even find it to be encrusted with some little sea creatures in there. Oh, unfortunately they didn't make it, but that's okay. Thank you, sea creatures, for giving your life for my nutrition. So let's pour some spring water in here. You know, I was thinking that since it's just like the first rinse, you could also possibly rinse it underneath the sink if you have like a filtered tap. You could do that too. Since I know the water in our region is not really as clean as I'd like it to be for this process, I'm just going to use some spring water to rinse it. Okay, so now I'm just going to, I am just kind of, oh, now you can see the branches. And you don't want this water to be too cold or too hot because this is a living thing. It's organic material, and it will revert back to its original size based on its natural environment, right? So you don't want it to do that quite yet as you're cleaning. So make sure that your water is room temperature. But here you see the little, oh my gosh, you see the little bumps. It looks just like the seaweed under the sea, of course, because that's where it came from. Reminds me of SpongeBob. Okay, so already as I'm just kind of cleaning it, and this stuff is pretty good. There's not a whole lot of, now I know that I've heard that the Chondrus crispus, the Irish sea moss, has more little critters in it. So maybe I'll do a video with the Chondrus crispus so that we can see what comes out of there. It might be quite interesting. Okay, so that's my first rinsing. So I'm going to rinse it again. Let's drain the water. Okay, so already it's kind of loosened up. So I'm going to take some more spring water. And this is just to rinse it so that it's nice and clean, because the membrane is semi-permeable, so you know, whatever you put into this, it absorbs. So it's good to just have really clean water. See, there's some more residue there, sediment. I'm just gonna get all that stuff off. Okay. I think that's pretty good. See, the water's a little clearer this time too. So, and if you know, it just depends upon you. If you want to rinse yours like 5-6 times, that's up to you. It is now loose, and we can see what this actually is. Okay, this is a living thing from the ocean. And of course, that means that it's going to expand even more through our soaking, which is what we're going to do now. So now I'm going to take my alkaline water. And I'm going to pour it in. Okay. And I want to cover it. I don't want any little creepy little branches sticking out, because the whole idea is for this to soak and absorb so that it can get nice and soft and jelly-like, gooey, like it normally is in the ocean. Okay. I have that. And another option is to take a couple of limes, because it is like ocean smelling and tasting. So to take a couple of limes like this and to cut them and put them inside. So that's what I'm going to do too, because it kind of neutralizes that. It's not fishy, but it is definitely, it smells like you've been to the beach. So I'm going to just take this and put it inside of here. I'm going to squeeze some, oh, you can squeeze some juice in here. Okay, and then it neutralizes, it takes that little taste out. And some people like the taste, so, you know, don't knock it if you like it, it's cool. I just like mine to not taste like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here, and then I'm gonna take and put some plastic over it, because now it's time for us to soak it. And we're going to soak this beautiful sea moss. Okay, here it is, all wrapped up with the limes in here. And I'm going to place this in the refrigerator for 24 to 48 hours. Pretty much me, it's just going to be the same time tomorrow that we'll meet up. So you'll have an opportunity to see the next step. It's been a little more than 24 hours. It's actually been about 48 hours, but that's okay. We still can go and get our sea moss out of the refrigerator, so that's what we're gonna do. This is the consistency when you touch it. It's the same texture and consistency as, you know, regular seaweed. Like when you go to the beach in California, we have brown kelp, and it feels very much like this. So look at this. Can you imagine this waving in the ocean under the sea? Well, that's what this is, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to put this in the blender, and I'm gonna use the water here, okay, to blend it. If I had an excess of water, I would save my water, my sea moss water, to use for other things, but we'll do that in another video. This blender is very powerful. This is a Vitamix. You need a really powerful blender in order to make smooth sea moss gel. Because if you don't have it, if it's a low powered blender, it's gonna come out lumpy, not as thick, or it's just better if you have something that is going to really blend this stuff up. So I'm gonna go on ahead and place my sea moss in here. Ooh, that was easy. And I'm going to put water. Now, I'm just using the water that was in there. The more water you use, the thinner your sea moss gel is going to be. So if you want a thick sea moss gel, then you would use less fluid. If you want a thin one that's kind of liquidy, then you use more fluid. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to start off on like 1 or 2. Ooh, okay, look at that. And I blended it for quite a while. You know, because in that way, if you notice while I was blending, it got thicker and thicker. So what I do know is that when I put it in the refrigerator the last time in my container, it got thicker, you know, as time went on. So this will probably get almost to a jello-like consistency. Ooh, yeah, buddy. Okay, so this isn't as thick as I would have liked for it to have been, so I could have used less water, but it's still good. You know, I just would like for it to be thicker next time, but let's see what we can do with this. So now I can do one of two things. I could just take this sea moss right here and pour it into this little jar. And from there, I can use it to add to smoothies. I can add it to whatever I want. I can even put it in some tea. Take a teaspoon of it, stir it in my tea, drink it that way. But what I'm gonna do is I am going to flavor it. That's why I'm not going to pour it out right now. I'm gonna add some frozen mango to it. So I have here my frozen mango. And I just picked some up from Target. It's just not a lot. Put in here. Oops. I think that's enough, right? Okay. I'm gonna put it on the frozen chunk section. That looks so good. And it smells good too. I think I'm gonna have to put the rest of this. I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna fill this all the way up because I want to mix this with some applesauce too. Yeah, I'm gonna put some applesauce sauce in because then I know that it's going to be nice and chunky. I'm going to stir that in there. I can't wait to taste this. That tastes good. Okay, so there you have it. It's sea moss. I truly hope you enjoyed this how-to video on how to make sea moss gel. If so, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Sing Song and tag along for more of my adventures and click on the bell to receive notifications for new content. Until next time, enjoy life and see the song in your everyday.